And I think I find this meaningful because of the diversity of Jewish life. I think I relate to the fact that I live in a small town now, and how you can express yourself Jewishly living in a small town. I live in Bloomington, Indiana, and how you can maintain Jewishness without being surrounded by it. As I mentioned, I grew up in a very Jewish neighborhood, and it was effortless to be Jewish and to express yourself that way. And I went to a Jewish school, and all of my friends were Jewish, and everybody I knew growing up was Jewish. And that's certainly not the case now, and it's not the case for my kids. My daughter is in 5th grade right now, and she's the only Jewish kid in 5th grade in her entire school. And I realize that they're getting a very different experience, and we have to work a lot harder to give her some sense of Jewish identity. And exactly what that Jewish identity means is also very difficult to determine. To what extent it's a religious identity, to what extent it's a cultural identity. And this is what I said to you earlier. When I grew up, I didn't have to think about that because it was all there. So everything that we did was permeated with various different types of Jewish identity. All of my earliest memories revolve around things that happened at Jewish holidays with my family, or at the I have early memories of the synagogue, or of going to my grandfather's synagogue where he was the rabbi, and so it becomes a part of who you are. Whereas with my own kids, we have to work hard to instill that, and it's often hard to do when they've got other priorities, when they've got gymnastics practice on Friday nights, and someone has to balance a whole bunch of different things. And to relate it to my academic life, I think I'm seeing how other people did that when they weren't even allowed to do it. We're allowed to go to synagogue, we just don't. But when I look at people who weren't allowed and still managed to retain some semblance of Jewish identity, even though it's not a Jewish identity that we would completely recognize as Jewish today, but it means something to them. And I think what's important is to instill that somehow.